Step 4 on how to heal as a narcissistic family scapegoat, and that is, build a relationship with yourself. Because this whole time you've been focused on what your family wanted in a sense. You're probably somewhat codependent or maybe harshly codependent. You probably have some people pleaser tendencies that you have to work on. You probably are conditioned to do things outside of what you truly believe as a person. And as a scapegoat or a narcissistic family scapegoat or black sheep or whatever, you probably have a very rebellious spirit. But on the other side of you, um, you also, in certain instances, fall in line. So you have to lock into that. You have to determine why you do that. And really, just like I said, build a relationship with yourself. Be who you are as you learn who you are and stand on who you are, because they guilted you, they lied about you, and they tried to bring you down. So you're going to do things as you work on yourself, right? You're going to do things and they're going to be healthy as you read the information and learn, but you're not going to be able to stand on them. In other words, when I say stand on it, I mean like you're going to have to change and not be a people pleaser and stand on how that is, but it's going to feel uncomfortable because you were conditioned. You're going to want to feel like, oh yeah, I want to make sure that this person's good, or I want to make sure that I'm nice around this person, or I want to make sure that this person don't feel like I'm attacking them. But that's not your job. Your job is to be yourself authentically. If you're not your authentic self, it causes depression. So that is why you're probably depressed and anxiety filled with your family. And then once you separated yourself, you realize some of your depression went away, some of your anxiety went away, maybe all of it. As you work on yourself, you'll realize, dang, I don't got that cloud in my head full of depression, anxiety, because the reason why it was there, because you were not being your authentic self. You were being a people pleaser. Then you're going to realize, okay, I separate myself from them. Then you're going to go out in the world. And the same way you were conditioned in the world is the same way that you're still conditioned. So you're going to go to jobs, you're going to go to whatever, and people are going to, in a sense, treat you the same way. The reason why it seems heightened at these jobs, the reason why it seems like people are still targeting you, people are still scapegoating you and all of that, the reason why it seems like it's even worse now than when you were with them. You always noticed it a little bit, but now it's even worse because you're self-aware and you recognize it. Like, for example, I was at this job and I'm all the way on the other side of the warehouse, and this guy, and I don't know if he was a narcissist, I don't know what his deal was, but he's a controlling individual. He just met me. He's like calling me from the other side and then trying to tell me, oh, what time did you come in today? Because he wanted to go tell me to do something else. Mind you, if it was somebody else, 9 times out of 10, he would not have done that. But since it's your energy, it's your aura, it's how you are conditioned, people can recognize that subconsciously. Majority of society was set up and come from dysfunctional families. So think about this theory. I thought about this when I was walking home. Think about this theory. If majority of society comes from dysfunctional families, then that means that most families have black sheeps or scapegoats. And they don't have to be narcissistic families, but they have black sheeps or scapegoats. So everybody has a different role within that family. So when you go to a job, subconsciously and not aware, they're not aware of it, but they might recognize you have scapegoat qualities with inside of you, just like their family. So the same way they treat that individual in their family without realizing it, some of them intentionally, but very small percentage because most people not self-aware, but without realizing it, they're going to scapegoat you. They're going to treat you like trash. They're going to be jealous of you. They're going to be envious of you because you remind them subconsciously of that person that they scapegoat within their family system. And that is why scapegoats and black sheep get targeted at work or whatever the case may be, because like I said, majority of society comes from dysfunction. So that is why. That is something that I've realized myself. And I'm like, why every time I go to these jobs, it just feels like same thing is happening, but now it seems like it's like a higher court. But it's always been happening. When I look back, it's always been happening. It's just now I'm self-aware, so I really, really notice it, and it frustrates me in the sense because it's like, especially when somebody try to control you or do something to you, it's like, is this what we doing? Or you really like that? That's another thing. Don't gaslight yourself into believing that people are going to be caring like you, that people are going to understand things like you, people are going to be self-aware like you. Majority of people in society, I hate to say it, with Aaron Clare on YouTube, he said they're volatile, disgusting people. I'm not gonna say that, even though I feel like people out of pocket out here. I would say like most people are not self-aware. Most people are operating based off of the toxic stuff that goes on, and most people want to fit in. So if you stand out, they're gonna tear you down because they don't like the fact that you're not fitting in. And sometimes you not fitting in is just you being yourself, and they don't like that. So that's where that comes from. So I believe I named this part 4, which was build a relationship with yourself.